What's up guys, welcome to another video, and today we're going to be discussing the Rune Optimizer. So I've done videos of the Rune Optimizer before, but I figured it'd be good to do an updated version because there's been quite a lot of changes since I did the previous videos. Or at least like the two previous videos were separated by the changes, so I'll do it all in one video. And especially because Rune removal is coming up this weekend, so I thought this might be helpful for some people. Alright, so first of all, before you even start optimizing your units, what I recommend is after you upload your JSON file, you should go to the monster tab and just lock any units that you think you're gonna just leave alone. You don't want to change them this month. Now I'll usually do this for things that I know don't have an upgrade. For example, my Bernard, right? My Bernard, or actually he might have had a upgrade this month, but I checked it and it wasn't like significant enough for me to want to change his build. So I decided to leave him alone. So I'm just gonna lock, or normally it'll be obviously unticked. So you just click on the lock button and it will lock it. So just go through any other units that you want to make sure you don't touch the runes on. So this will make it a little bit easier because when you do your optimization, it won't include the runes of that unit in the calculations. And for the options section here, by default it will say use only runes from your inventory. Okay, now I think a lot of people probably have runes stored in other monsters. Alright, so you probably want to untick this, right? I mean, at least for me, I have runes on storage monsters, so I always untick that first. Also, by default, the actual stats tab is selected. Now, I do recommend that you select the +15 tab. Alright, just switch to it. The reason I recommend this is because you'll probably have runes in your inventory that you farm this month, and you left them at +12, right? I do recommend you to at least upgrade all your runes to +12. That will give you the best, will give you the most accurate, calculations in the optimizer, right? Because it calculates all the substats that you have on that rune. It can't really, obviously, can't predict what you'll get when you +12 the rune. Let's say maybe you leave a rune at +9 for whatever reason. That means there's an extra stat that's missing in that calculation, right? So it's a good idea to +12 them first. That way it gives you the best idea on your calculations. Now, so for things like slot 2, 4, and 6, if you leave it at +12 and you do the actual stats, you won't get a good representation of your calculations because it will assume it's based on leaving it at +12. You're probably going to eventually, or you should eventually, +15 those runes. So +15 gives you the best, most accurate picture, right, of what the builds will be. Alright, so I'll go through some examples and also show you examples with the tools that you can use in the optimizer to help you sort of decide on how you want to build your units. To start off, let's do an example here. So I want to build my bulldozer. Okay, I haven't done it yet. So I'm going to select bulldozer. Now we can choose what sets we want. Now for bulldozer, I want will for sure. Okay, you can set it to whatever you want. Like if bulldozer is going to be the unit that you're going to boost with immensity first turn, then you don't have to have will on it. But I usually will boost copper first, right? So copper does not need will in my case, but bulldozer does because he's gonna move last. All right, so I need him to tank some hits. And also I need him to not get defense broken, so I put him on will. Then you select your slot 2, 4, 6, and so bulldozer is obviously defense, crit damage, defense, right? You can change it to whatever you want. Let's say maybe you're rooting let's say a Field Mars, alright? Field Mars, you might want to put slot to like speed and attack or something like that, you can add like as many. I think you can add up to 3 stats, right? So let's like maybe I want to do like speed, I don't know, whatever, flat attack, all right? And it will calculate based on having one of these runes in the calculation, right? But obviously for bulldozer, I'm going to take out these. You can also set the grinds, right? I usually leave it off because I rather. Usually I'll prepare in advance and grind all my runes to begin with. But you can use the minimum and maximum grinds. This will calculate it based on what you currently have in your inventory, right? So if you don't have it available in your inventory, it will not calculate it for you. So you can set it to minimum roll or maximum roll, or off. You can also set it to no broken sets if you happen to not want any broken sets. That's up to you. Generally speaking, I would leave this unticked just because broken sets tend to give you better stats, right? Just because it's hard to get a full set that's high quality, right? Or like all runes are very good. So I would recommend leaving that off. Now the most important thing here is the focus section. A lot of people forget about this and then they wonder why their app crashes. One of the main reasons it crashes is because it's calculating too many permutations. So that's why the focus section is here. So you want to set it like the focus to whatever stats is most important for your unit. So for bulldozer, obviously I want defense, I want crit rate, and I want crit damage. Okay. If there were any other stats I wanted, I can add them too. You can add up to 5. And then you can also have, there's also a sliding bar depending on the importance to it, for it. These ones are currently set to like, these are set by default, alright? You can adjust it however you want. Now this will also like, basically it will look for runes with these substats on it, or try to prioritize them. This will reduce the amount of calculations because then like, runes that don't have these stats on it won't get included in the calculations, so it significantly reduces the permutations. Okay, you can also see the estimated build here. So if I clear this, there's actually like over 10 million builds. I do not want to have this many builds because it's going to either freeze or crash my optimizer app. Okay, so that's why there's also a warning here. Please consider using the focus stats or a lower search depth. So by lower search depth, it will probably mean like maybe set it to like rage, will, or something, right? That will reduce the number of builds. Alright, but I'm gonna go back and put in my focus. Now another thing that's very important. Okay, let's just get rid of the filters for the time being. I'm gonna optimize this, right? And you'll see that the damage here is like really low for some reason. Okay, this damage is actually based off like it's like an average of your attack, crit rate, and crit damage. And I believe speed might be inputted in there a bit, but I think it depends. But it's mainly like attack, crit damage, attack. So obviously for a defense scaling unit like bulldozer, this is not useful. So what I want to do is click on the cogwheel. Alright, so this is the standard formula. It's set by default. The other options, option 2, allows me to select the skill and calculate what the damage is with that particular skill. So for bulldozer, I'm obviously interested in his full power punch. Alright, and then it will add in the multipliers for the skill automatically. Okay, it's all inbuilt. Now the defense, you can set that if you're testing, say, like a Chimera Squall or Fieldmar's first skill or whatever, and see how much damage that does. You probably want to add in like an enemy defense. By default, it's 800, so you can't actually go wrong with it. But I would recommend putting in like 1000 defense if you're gonna calculate it, because I think that's like about average. Then you want to enter the skill ups. Easy way out is just to click on the maximum button, and this will put in the maximum percentage from the skill ups for that whatever skill it is. Okay, This saves you just like trying to like look it up and add it in manually. But if your unit is not max skill, obviously you probably want to change it if you want to calculate based on your current situation with skill ups. Now for Bulldozer's damage, he's ignore defense, so I'm gonna tick this. It's not a bomb, so I'm not gonna tick that. I want to use my glory point building, so I'll leave that ticked. Also wanted to use my Guild War flags. Alright, this is all automatically captured in your JSON file, so you don't need to like worry about that. So I'm going to tick that. Defense break doesn't matter because I'm ignoring defense. I do not have attack buff in my team that I'm using Bulldozer in. It's a City Copper Bulldozer usually, but he doesn't scale off attack anyway, so no point having that there. I will have defense buff because of Immensity, so I'll put that in. Speed buff is irrelevant, and I'm not using it anyway, and there's no branding effect, okay? Or at least I'm not going to have a branding when I use Bulldozer. Then I'm going to assume critical hit because he should crit, right? I'm going to set him to 70% crit rate, and plus crit rate buff from Immensity is max, okay? So this is also something you probably want to tick anyway, even if you're adding, even if you're doing like 85 crit rate on your unit. Let's say like a Lucian, like a Fluffer Lucian. You still want to know how much it would crit for though, so I would recommend you just include that. Then you can add leader skill. There's no leader skill for my Bulldozer, so I'm gonna leave it at 0%. So we'll click on apply. Alright. And then you can see the damage on my current set is 21,000. I can then sort by damage to find whatever's the highest. Okay. Now I also didn't mention this before, but you can also filter your stats towards whatever minimums or maximums you want. So for example, for Bulldozer, I want a minimum of 70 crit rate. This way, I have max crit with his buff, or with Immensity's buff. Click on apply, and then obviously it will filter out anything below 70%. And we can see here I have a Bulldozer slight upgrade, alright, with Guard Will Determination. Now, knowing that this is also including like broken sets. Knowing that this is my current highest damage set, I might want to do like just like search it by these set combinations because there's so many calculations done. Sometimes you might omit some results. So I'm gonna optimize again with the full sets. Alright, so there isn't any other better sets, but sometimes it does like turn out to have better sets if you narrow it down further. Okay, so if you can narrow down as best you can, that helps a lot. But to start with, for your first calculation, you might want to be a little bit more broad. Alright, just to see what's available. So now I'm going to click on my that one. Actually, no. Even before that, you can see this top one here, the grade one, is my current set. So you can see like in comparison to what the second one will be. So if I clicked on it already, so it brings the build up here. All right. Now I can check out the runes. I can see like in yellow what's grinded, if that's that might be important for your unit. So I can see here like all the main important stats are grinded, like defense, flat defense. Those are the main ones that I really care about for Bulldozer anyway. But you can check based on whatever unit you're looking at. Now if you want to like look closer at a rune, let's say I want to know this rune, right? It's got defense on it, but how much has it been grinded by? Alright, so I can click on more and view the rune. Okay, so now it's highlighting the Bulldozer Guard rune. And I can see here it is actually a max grind on defense percent, so it can't get any better in regards to defense percent. Okay, so that's another way to just look at where you can get some potential upgrades on your unit. Alright, so here you can see that this is the actual stats at the moment, and this is the plus 15 stats. You can also see in brackets how much it's going to gain if it's green and how much it's going to lose if it's red. Okay, so here I'm gaining some crit damage and losing a little bit of defense, but it's enough for me to gain like a slight damage boost. It's like 15 damage, but may as well just, you know, go as high as possible, right? You want the best, most efficient anyway. Like 15 is not really gonna like change much, but you may as well. So yeah, that's how you optimize a unit. Now let's see, what other things can we look at? Alright, for the runes, I did mention here that you could view more to find, like, you can look for the runes, like how much has been grinded, right? So that's how you look at what's been grinded. So the left number here is what it currently is at. So this is the grinded value, and in brackets is how much is, like, you know, the actual grindstone, you know, how much it rolled. So this is actually a base defense of 15, alright, and it's been upgraded to 22. So what you can do is you can set, like, you filter it. Alright, let's say I want to check what my fastest swift runes are. Alright, I'm gonna sort by speed, substat here, so I can see that, like, this is my fastest swift rune. Okay. Also, you can also like enchant and grind, right, through this interface. So let's say you find a rune, like, okay, maybe this top rune here. Let's say if I had a an enchant, right? Maybe I want to enchant this crit damage off. I can click on this E button, and it will show you what my current enchants available. So maybe I want to enchant HP onto it. I equip it, and this will tell you what values you know, this gem can roll. So obviously you'll use it on your rune. Whatever number you get, you just type it into this box and equip it, and then it will change the value. I'm not going to do it yet because I haven't done that, but then it will change the values automatically to whatever you enchanted it to. Let me find an example here. Okay, so you can see here, like, these yellow ones have not been grinded yet, and there's also a G button here. The G button means you have a grind available, and if it's not available here, that means you don't have anything better to upgrade this with grinds. Okay, so I could click on the G, and it's the same thing as the enchant. I can equip, say, this blue grind, and put in whatever value I roll, and then it will add it onto the stats. So this is good for rune removal preparation, actually. So what I usually do is I filter it by a particular set, right? And then I'll look at what grinds I have available. So, you know, let's say speed, swift. So I would sort it by speed, and just go down and see where can I upgrade my speed. Okay, so maybe, like, say this 22 speed. If I had a legendary or even like a hero rune, I could upgrade this. I mean, it will tell me if I can upgrade it as well. But yeah, I'll use this to find all that and upgrade my runes that way. Now, another very common question I get is, how do you use Rune Optimizer to find legendary runes for reappraisal? You can do it, and it's very simple. Just go to this quality tab, click on the drop down, and select legend. Right, and this will it will filter out non-legend runes. Right, so this will only show your legend runes. You'll probably also want to make sure you only have 6-star runes. So you can just scroll that all the way over here, so that you'll only show 6-star quality runes. You can see here, this is the grade, 6-star. Okay, then obviously you can sort by set and whatever slot. So maybe I mean, I can have a look what my best slot 6 speeds are. So these are my best slot 6. Alright, and I guess, like, you know, if I had a legendary grind, for example, maybe I want to use it on the top, most, like, my best, you know, speed rune here. And this, like, to find the legend runes that you don't want to use, I guess you have to, like, compare the stats. Like, maybe like these ones are all pretty highly efficient, right? Or they have high speed. This one's not that efficient, but it has high speed. So I probably want to use it on these. But you can just look for just look for the runes that you probably won't be using or keeping, or you don't want to keep. And yeah, this will also show you the location of that rune to help you find it a lot quicker. Alright, now I've gone through most of the stuff. The main other thing I want to talk about is speed tuning. Okay, so for speed tuning, I'm just going to get rid of these. First off, this all like the JSON file will already have the information of what your speed tower is at. But let's say you don't have a maximum speed tower, right? Maybe you had, I don't know, maybe you had a 14 speed tower, right? It's level 9, and then you upgrade it, and you forgot to, like, let's say you uploaded your JS1 file already, you forgot that you had like a max tower, or you could max your tower very soon. So you just you want to edit it, you can just edit it here, I believe. Yeah, so I can change to 14 if I want, but obviously for me I have 15 speed for my tower. Now I do recommend just change it to plus 15 for your stats, right? By default it's set to actual, but if you have a slot 2 speed rune that you have in plus 15, then it will look a bit weird. Like for example here, I put in my Bernard and my Megan. Right, now it's currently showing that my Megan is at 215 speed, which is my actual stats at the moment, but my slot 2 is not max yet, so I want to use my plus 15 stats, and then it will show you, okay, so this is actually within range of the speed minimum to move after Bernard. Right, so that's what the speed minimum is. So I want a minimum of 225. Usually I'll just add 1 extra speed just to be safe, but you can do it to 225, I believe. It should be fine. And then yeah, so this is my standard double Lucian team. I'll just input it in. Okay, so these are my 2 Lucians. Now keep in mind that this next Lucian I'm going to put in, you can see here this current one is 226. The next one is actually 227 Lucian. I'm going to add it in, and it's actually slotted into the correct slot. Alright, so just you can keep that in mind. Like, you don't actually need to input them in the correct order. It will automatically do it for you. So another example that I want to talk about is if you want to change the order of your units. Alright, let's say I want to do my Galleon, I want to do my Alicia and Zyros. Excuse me. Now, it's currently set in the correct order. Okay, so I actually want my Zyros to move first because I want him to soften up the opponent, make sure I reset stuff, and then Alicia can clean up. But let's say as like a random example, let's say I want to make my Alicia move first. So I can actually click on this left arrow button on the move order to move her in front of my Zyros. Then it will show me the optimum speed for Zyros to move after Alicia. Right now, there's a couple ways that you can do this. So you can just go back and re-optimize your Zyros. What you would need to do is you have to delete him, alright, and then add him back in when you do that, because it doesn't automatically update once you re-equip runes. So you have to put them back in, and then you just check that it's correct or correct order. Alternative is once you change the speed of the unit. Let's say I change his speed to 218. I can also edit here to 218, and now he's at the correct speed order. You would go by the combat speed, because the combat speed is calculated or taking into account speed tower, and if relevant, you can also check or you tick this to use the leader skill. Let's say I'm using this in Guild Wars, for example, then it will tune the speed based off the speed lead as well. So you can see there's the gap is a little bit different because of the speed lead. Okay, so that's just how you can use the speed tuner to optimize things like your arena offense and turn order. So I usually will use this for obviously arena offense, Guild Wars offense, and Also, my dungeon teams is very important because usually I want to make certain units move in a certain order. Like first off, I want Galleon to move first, and as an example, in my Dragons team, I want the Verd to move last. So I would make sure I have them in order, and it's a good way to check it. There are 6 slots here. All right, so this is because raids have 6 slots. So if you want to check the order of your raid units, you can do that too. Okay, I believe that's pretty much it. I can't think of any other section that's really important to talk about. So, okay, actually, let's just do another quick example of a unit. Let me just find one. Let's say I want to build. Actually, I do need to build a chroma, so I'm gonna build a chroma. Okay, so I want to put chroma on violet and destroy. This is my personal preference. You can use whatever sets, obviously, for your units, but I was gonna use this as an example. So I want to build it this way. I want to build it speed, crit damage, and attack. All right. If I want, I can also check what my stats would be if I do something like this, like put attack there. Maybe I want to put attack and HP there, because maybe I have very good speed substats on these attack and HP runes, and I could check for that. That's up to you, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to set it just to speed, crit damage, attack. Oops, I misclicked there. Alright, so then I set my focus. I want HP, speed, attack, crit rate, crit damage. Alright. Actually, even crit damage is not that important. Actually, attack's not that important either, now that I think about it. I mean, you can set whatever you want, but I want my minimum crit rate to be 100. Okay. Well, for now, I'm going to set it to 100. I'm going to change my standard damage formula back to or change it back to the standard one, and then it will calculate my builds. So I can see here this. I can also sort by whatever stats I want. So let's say I want to see what my fastest build is with these with this sort of setup. I can sort it by speed. Now I'll probably want to have a minimum of let's say 200 speed. All right, so I'll put 200 speed in the filter. Apply for now. Then what I would normally do is I'll sort it by HP and attack, just to see what kind of stats will I get with this. Also crit damage. Right, so basically I just go through and sort of filter out. Just maybe I can further filter out. Let's say I want a minimum of 20,000 HP. Okay, and then apply that, and then it will just further sort of narrow it down to the builds that I can do with these minimum stats. So I want maybe I can you just play around with it. You can also use the damage. You can maybe sort by average damage. So this one is the highest average damage. You can see it probably will be because it's slightly higher attack as opposed to 2 crit damage. I think the attack is in this case is worth a lot more. So yeah, you can see the damage numbers are a little bit higher for this build. So this build looks okay to me. It's got a lot of my minimums. So I could pick that, or I can sacrifice some attack and give it a bit more defense, make it a bit tankier. That's also an option. I think I'll go with the. Actually, there's another way you can sort the effective HP. So this one, effective HP, is a combination of your HP and your defense, not taking into account any defense breaks. This EHP with defense, right? This means if your defense broken, this is your effective life, right? So obviously you can see here, this one has higher HP and less defense than the second build. So the effective HP on this top build is actually better than this bottom one, because even though this one has more defense, right? That's because when like a defense broken, it will, you know, the survivability will drop dramatically, right? Whereas HP is always like pretty consistent. So I'm actually liking this build, so I probably will equip that to my chroma. Okay. So this is like a bit of a worked example, a bit of an explanation actually on like these other tabs which you might not necessarily know. Efficiency is also it's like an average efficiency of the runes on the monster. Okay, so you can actually see the efficiency of each individual rune by this like this just down here in the bottom right. That's the efficiency of the runes, and then this is like averaged out for this efficiency statistic. Now, this is only really important if you care about world boss. If you don't care about world boss, then it doesn't really matter. Okay, let's see. Oh, actually, one other thing I forgot. Okay, if I go back to my bulldozer, actually, I put my bulldozer back in here, real quick. Okay, that will do. 70, and I'll get rid of these. Defense. There we go. All right. So one other thing you can do is put in your determination sets, because you could see here that I actually am running a determination set on my bulldozer, right? Oh wait, this is filtered to 200 speed, but still I misclicked that. So this is currently the damage I deal. Oh, did I not equip it yet? Oh, sorry, I haven't. One thing to remember is, obviously once you've finalized your build, make sure you equip the runes and then lock them. That way, once they're locked, they don't show up in future calculations, right? So that's like sort of done and prepared. So going back here, I have a determination set, so that means I should go to this more section, and there's the new sets, right? So because like obviously determination will affect my bulldozer's damage, I want to tick determination set for 1, because there's only 1 on my team, which is on bulldozer. If you have more, obviously you add more. Alright, so I'm going to re-optimize, and this will show me my damage based on 1 determination set. Alright, so it's 21,800. For bulldozer, keep in mind this is per hit. So because you know bulldozer's full power punch is a double punch. The multiplier is based on 1 hit. So obviously you'll double this. So this would actually do about just under 44,000, about 43.5k total. Okay. So yeah, that's something that I forgot to talk about earlier. Now once you're done, what I recommend you to do is go back to this section here and export the data. So you export it to and like somewhere safe, rename it, especially if you need to like. Maybe you have like another account to rune up like I do. Make sure you save your work and do that. Another thing is, let's say you found a rune while you were optimizing. What you can do is you can either add it manually, or you can add a new JSON file, okay, and click on keep builds and refresh data only. That's just like a bit of a tip. You can do that, or you can go to your rune section and just input like a new rune. Okay, so yeah, you can set like, you know, whatever it is, filter. Okay, sorry, like, you know, maybe you found like a fatal rune or whatever, and put in all the values. All right, you have to go through all this. Obviously, the set by default you probably put it in your inventory. Make sure you put the grades, what the current powered up level is, and all the stats. Once you've finished all that, you can create new. Okay, and that will add a new rune to your like rune table. Okay, so I think the video has already gone quite long, gone on quite long enough, so I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, maybe there's something I missed, just let me know in comments and I'll answer that as soon as possible. So good luck on your rune removal, guys, and enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.